260 hours since we started this quest. We're continuing our path to the King of Rats on the Europe server. The system remains the same. Taking on work one step at a time and doing the step with consistency even when it gets hard. Favorite kill this week is an Awakened Fist of Avalon. When fighting one, it's always safer if you have a Gauntlets potion on you so that you don't get stunned for 2 millennia without doing any damage. Use it at the beginning of the fight and always laser on W. Keep it as a finisher after you use your E. The E should be only used after his health bar is low enough and or after he uses his main defensives. In this case, he has a mercenary jacket, so I wait for him to heal first and only then finish the combo. First blood this week, a similar IP Prawler staff. Normally I wouldn't fight one with Mistwalker jacket, but this one didn't have the build full spec, so it was most likely he doesn't know all his matchups. If you find yourself fighting someone with Mistwalker or Dodge Rolling Boots, make sure to change the W to Garage as you won't be able to use your E as a finisher. Safest way to get a wisp is by letting someone with higher mobility carry to the portal and then just dismount and either kill the person and get the wisp or just kill the person after he gets the wisp. In this case, the Dagger could have escaped if he left the wisp earlier and invis right away before I could damage him. He uses invis after my poison, so it gets cancelled right away. Just because you have higher mobility than most of the builds in the mist doesn't mean you can be more greedy. If you want to survive, mount up as soon as you see a name tag and inspect the enemy only after you have some distance and he's not dismounted. Before we continue, if you have any questions regarding the game, feel free to ask in the comments below. I respond to everyone. Normally, you won't be able to catch a Bloodletter or fight one on equal terms. This time, I got lucky enough and he comes to me on his own. If he knew his matchups well enough, he wouldn't engage me. Two things to keep in mind: always laser and Giga Pod swap for when you're below 40% HP. If you do your combo well enough, you can kill one even if he has 200 IP on you. If you can't beat them, join them. After a lot of farming, I made enough to buy myself a tier 10 set and awaken my weapon. Until the next date, I'd say you need at least 5-4 if you want to properly do PvE and PvP. Our first kill with it, a Blood Moon, he didn't do anything wrong. I was just too strong for him and I dismounted earlier than normal to check the camp for players. Being my second time awakening a weapon, I tried out different things. Best tries to start with are ability damage, then go for defense and max health. In my case, I started with defense, so it got more expensive when I reached the last rate, which I'll show a little later. Always pay attention to the sounds. You'll hear someone before you see them. This spear unfortunately couldn't do much as he was already low from the mob. If he wasn't, he could have purged my boots and reached the exit as he has more mobility than a curse. When you're using expensive gear, you're bound to make more mistakes. This wasn't that bad, but it could have gone better. Two things I could have done better were to wait for the finisher a little more as he still had his Gigapod, and also use the OC when I saw I'm losing the fight. I was scared for my items thrashing, but this costed me a full awakened weapon in which I invested more than 20 million. In the end, it's a good lesson for the future. The only sad thing is that the other guy died too and no one contacted me to buy the weapon back. So most likely it was either lost or trashed in the mist. After that death, the game wanted to make amends and I found the legendary chest in a tier 6 common abbey. My RNG was good enough and got a sync before drop. Not the best one, but I managed to sell it in the black market for 4 to 5 million when the price goes high enough. IP and gear in this game is just a number. Skill and practice are more important after a certain time. This fight I didn't have a stew for PvP and I used my potion too early. Other than that, the Spike Gauntlets should have taken the fight as he has a PvE rat build. Having long range abilities when it comes to killing people in the camps makes the difference between banking and dying. This time we catch a carrying by surprise. He's so scared for his build that he forgets to use his Mistwalker jacket. Normally it would be a very hard fight if it's a fair IP, and you'll most likely die against Purge and Mistwalker jacket, so try this only if you surprise the enemy. At the moment of recording this video, these are the specs I managed to get so far. Applying what I know, what I learned from others, and by practicing, step by step I'll become the best for at least one aspect of this game. If you want more tips on how to win more, check out the video that I left on the right, and remember, always and forever, better support wins.